let's go to the big band now, and then I want to revisit a couple things you said. How did we evolve to big band? Why is that so pure? What is it about that music? And why is this your path?
Well, it's as American as the blues or rock and roll. I mean, it's all born here. Big band music is born here in this country. And I always could sing it. I mean, even though I was in rock bands, I was a totally closet Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, kind of guy. And I knew I could sing, and I really knew how to sing it, because I would do it, messing around. So what happened is, when I lost my record deal, again with Polydor, at that moment in '85, right at that moment, I guess it wasn't called hip hop. Urban was kind of coming in. So it wasn't guys playing instruments, it was synthesizers and stuff. And I said, I come from I did records with Harry Nilsson, you know what I mean? So this was like foreign to me. So I said, well, what can I do? I lost my record deal. I'm getting up there, I'm like 34, 35. What can I do? I said, I'll do a big band album. No one's doing it. In my age group, no one's doing it. So I'll be like an alternative guy. I'll be the only guy in my age group. I could win go up for another Grammy because I have no competition, because no one's recording records, Frank and those guys weren't really recording records then. They were just playing, So I found one of the greatest conductors out there, Sammy Nestico, who was with Count Basie for 24 years. He's won more Grammys. He's just one of the greats. Went to my house. I knew it was the reason I bought that Steinway piano when I made money. Sat at the house, went through oodles and oodles of songs. And I said, I want to do something different. I don't want to do like every song like more than I didn't want to do that stuff. I want to do something different. And we just went through all these songs and did some really interesting songs that no one does, like In Love in Vain, Spring is Here, all these beautiful. And so Sammy said, okay, let's go, let's do it. We went up to Canada, did the album, and I got to tell you, it almost gives me goosebumps when I think. Here I am with no record deal. I paid for the whole thing. What money I had, I paid for it. It was pretty expensive. I go up to Canada, and the first time I hear, I'm used to rock sessions, I'm sitting home, and then I hear this orchestra come in rubato, and it almost brought tears to my eyes. I said, oh my God, because I'd never heard the strings. It's not like today. You didn't hear the strings till you got there, It's not like, hey, this is what it sound like on my synthesizer. No. And I had to stop for a second. I said, oh my God, what a journey is this going to be? I could feel the floor with the cellos and the bass just vibrate because it's live in the studio. And I'm sitting there, I go, oh my God, I'm surrounded by some of the greatest musicians in the world, and this is my record. I own this record. It was a feeling I've never had again. And we did it, and Sammy Nestico said to me, he said, this is the best album I've ever done in my life, because he was always with Count Basie type stuff. So they never let him to do strings, but his strings are the greatest I've ever heard. And I said, do whatever you want, Maestro. I said, do whatever you want. And I actually did it old school. He's sitting on the podium, and we're about, I'm watching him, and I'm singing like Sinatra did. And we did the whole album like 2.5 days. They can't get a drum sound in 2.5 days now. It's like, pop, pop, pop. But that's how they did those great albums by Sinatra, Nat Cole, Tony Bennett. Even the Beatles, those albums were done in a day, 2 days. They didn't sit there like getting snare sounds for a month and stuff like that. So I did that. I said, okay, now I got this great album. What do I do? I got no record deal, and no one really is interested. I think I've done this amazing album. I have Sammy Kahn writes the liner notes, Tony Bennett writes the liner notes, and I can't get it off, So it was like kind of discouraging. I had this beautiful masterpiece, I thought, but nowhere to go. And I ran out of money at the same time.